Hello, my name's Sue from Sue's in the Shed, and today I'm going to show you how to make a granny square. Now when I teach a granny square, I normally teach a two-coloured square because it makes it so much easier for beginners to see where they're going if they're going into a different coloured row below. So that's what I'll start with. If you check out my YouTube videos, you'll see a one-coloured granny square that's done ever so slightly differently because you have to use some slip stitches to travel over to where you want to start the next row. So check out them both, see which is best for you, and enjoy. So we're going to start with a slip knot. If you don't know how to do this, check out my previous videos because it goes through them there. And we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we're going to slip stitch into the first chain that you did. So the 4th chain from the hook, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's that chain there. And when you pop your hook in, can you see that? When you pop your hook in, you make sure there's 2 pieces of yarn on the top of the hook, and that saves you getting a big hole. And a slip stitch is you're going to take this yarn right through all of the work, and it's just joining it together. So all the way through there, and it's joined it together. Now, a little beginner's trick is I take a little piece of yarn, about 6 inches, pull that big so you don't lose it, and have a good root about inside there for the hole that you've created by joining that chain in a loop. Can you see it there? If you pull this little piece of yarn through, it'll just act now as a marker, so you know that every stitch from here on in is done into that hole with that piece of yarn in. Otherwise you can get a little bit lost with knowing where the hole is. So if you get that in place first, it'll make the rest quite a bit easier for you. So we're going to start with a chain 3, and the reason we start with a chain 3 is because we're working in treble crochet, and the UK treble crochet has a standing chain of 3 every time you do a row. This means we get up to height of the stitch before working back down and back down and back down. So this chain 3 has now magically turned into a treble, and that's what we count it as when we're counting our stitches. So that's 1 treble. We're going to work another 2 trebles into this marker stitch hole. So yarn round, through, draw your yarn back. Yarn round, 2 off, yarn round, 2 off. Easy. Should we do it again? Yarn round, through your marker stitch hole, draw your yarn back, yarn round, 2 off, yarn round, 2 off. So if you can see that now, we've got 3 trebles because the first 3 chain equals a treble, so it's 1, 2, 3, and we're working in clusters of 3 for the granny square. So now we need a hole, and to create a hole for the corner we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to work another cluster of 3 trebles into this hole. So we'll go ahead and do that. So it's 1, 2 and 3. So now we've got 2 clusters of 3 trebles. And now to do another hole, chain 2. I'll just do a little bit of troubleshooting here just to show what some people accidentally do and how you might get caught up. If this is happening to you, you can maybe try and rectify it. So when this yarn comes round, some people hold it at the front here. Well, that means once you've put your hook in, you've either not got the yarn there, so if you drag it back, it just doesn't work. But also what you need is your yarn at the back so you can go through the hole to drag it forward. So hold it as far back as you can, then when you go through the hole, you can just dip your hook in, grab it in one movement and fetch it back through. So we'll just do 3 trebles like before, 1, 2 and 3. And you can see that I'm working into this marker stitch hole every time. We're going to do 2 more chains. Now we've got 3 clusters of 3. What we're aiming for is 4. Oh, here's one I did earlier. Oh, that was Blue Peter, wasn't it? So we're going to work 3 more. 1, 2 and 3. And your final hole, we're going to chain 2. So now we'll get rid of this marker because we don't need it anymore. So now what you've got is one cluster of 3 and a hole, one cluster of 3 and a hole, one cluster of 3 and a hole, one cluster of 3, and this will be a hole once we've joined it. We're going to count up 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put your hook in. Make sure you get the 2 pieces of yarn over the top, otherwise it'll make a hole. Okay, and we're going to slip stitch it, slip, slip. Right, at this point is where I end this round when I'm teaching people, because as I say, it's easier to work the next round into a completely different colour. Check back on my other videos where I'll continue and show you how to do that. But at this point, how to end your colours, we do one single chain. Now that becomes a knot, that chain, it'll disappear. We cut your yarn and we're going to pull your hook up and out. Now, if you're a knitter, this will make you panic, but don't panic. Just pull your hook up and take that loop with it. If you were to pull the tail the other way, it'll all unravel. Just give that a little bit of a tug and you'll find that that becomes a knot. Don't be tempted to cut this off. You need to sew it in. And I'll show you that in another video as well. So, we're going to get rid of the green and we're going to bring in the silver. Here's how to add a new colour. We're going to put your hook into any one of your big corners. Any one. Just choose one. Put your hook through. Lay your new yarn over your hook and fetch it back. Now hold these 2 pieces of new yarn as if it was one thread, and you're going to do a chain stitch with both of them together. This is called an anchor stitch, and that's anchored that yarn in. You can sew this tail in later on. We're going to drop the tail now and we're going to chain 2. Now that means we've done 3 chains all together, which equals a treble, so that counts as your first stitch. So we're going to work another 2 trebles into this hole. So what we're going to make effectively is this circle into a square now on this round. So 2 trebles into this hole. Now you'll see I've got a cluster of 3, and that's right because that's what we're working in. So we're going to build a corner into the corner. So we're going to chain 2 and we're going to work 3 more trebles into the same hole. Don't jump across to this hole, it needs to be in the same hole. 3 more trebles. 1, 2 and 3. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to this hole in this corner. There's no chains here because if we can remember the mantra that we're only chain on corners, so there and there and there and there, you won't go too far wrong. So straight to this hole, and we're going to do 3 trebles followed by 2 chain and then another 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 2 chain and another 3. 1, 2 and 3. Now we've put our 2 corners on our square. So we're going to go to this one and we're going to do exactly the same. 3, 2, 3. And now we've got 3 corners. And guess what we're going to do in the last one? Yeah, exactly right. 3, 2, 3. 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles to add your last corner. So that's 1, 2, 3, 2 chain. 1, 2 and 3. Now remember the mantra, we only chain on corners, so there's no chain in this joining piece. We're simply going to find the 3rd chain up and we're going to slip stitch it, making sure you've got your 2 pieces of yarn on top of your hook. slip stitch it through. Then you can do your one single chain that becomes your knot. Cut it. I'm going to pull it up and out, up and out. Give that a tug and that becomes your knot. Marvellous. So I'm going to go back to the green and add the next row, because again this is slightly different, just to confuse matters. So let's do that joining again. I'm going to pick any corner, so not one of these middle bits, make sure it's a corner. Draw your new yarn through, hold the two ends of the new yarn as if it was one and do a chain stitch. Drop your tail and chain 2. So that was 3 chain, which equals your first treble. So we're going to do this corner exactly the same as this corner. So remember, you start in a corner and you make a corner in a corner. It's all about the corners. So another 2 trebles to make a cluster of 3. 2 chain and another 3 trebles. Okay, now you'll see this time that this corner is quite a long way away, and we also have a big gap here. So we need to fill this big gap, and we need to put a filler in of just 3 trebles. So there's no chain here, there's no chain after, just 3 trebles into that hole. Remember to sew all these pesky ends in later on. Okay, so we've got a corner and 3 trebles. So this is a corner, and remember we're allowed to chain on corners, but only after you've done your first 3 trebles. So it's 3, 2, 3 into the corner, 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles. And that's taken us round the corner now to this next space where, if you remember, we just did 3 trebles. So we'll go and do those 3 trebles. Oops. Back to the corner. Remember, 3, 2, 3, 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles. I really must take that jingly bracelet off next time. Oops. 3 plain trebles with no chains into the centre. Three, 2, 3 here, 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles. And 3 trebles into this last hole here. And we're going to count 3 up from your original 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, pop your hook in and slip stitch. You just fetch your yarn back through them both. 1 single chain becomes your knot. Cut it and pull it up and out. Give it a little tug. So that's a 3-row granny square, or a 3-round granny square. So I'm sure I don't need to do the next round, but if you can imagine, what happens is you join your yarn into this corner. You would do your 3, 2, 3, but this time you've got 2 holes to fill. So you put 3 trebles into that one, 3 trebles into that one, and then you go and do a corner, 3, 2, 3, 3 trebles, 3 trebles, 3, 2, 3. Go and enjoy. Let me know how you get on, and come back soon and I'll show you how to join them up. Bye.